Hey guys, Phil from Trail Talk here, and today we're going to be looking at the 2022 Fezzari mountain bike lineup. All right, so let's jump straight into it. And the one that most people always want to hear about is the Delano Peak. So the Delano Peak is their kind of 135 mil rear, 150 front, do it all, kind of all mountain trail bike. So comes in carbon only, but what's really impressive is that the entry-level carbon build is $3,599. So when we're comparing that to some of the best value on the market, say something like that Spectral CF7, you're kind of looking like 4,300 kind of dollar range for that entry-level carbon model, which is really, really good value. These are US dollars, so Fezzari is based in the US, so that's something to take in consideration here for my Australian viewers, but really, really good value, and the spec is fantastic too. So look at this one here. You can go the Comp or the Comp Eagle. So the regular Comp comes with SLX, and then the Comp Eagle comes with a mix of NX and GX Eagle. But yeah, rear suspension, you're getting the Topaz, so DVO Topaz in the rear and the DVO Diamond up front. So really good suspension package there. And just, yeah, what you're getting for $3,599 is really good. And the good thing about Fezzari as well is that they're direct to consumer, but you can trial the bike out for 30 days. So if you don't like it, send it back. So it's really different to a lot of online retailers. You don't actually get to actually trial it on the trail. So it's awesome that they can do that. And there's plenty of clearance for big tires as well, 2.6, 29 if you want. But yeah, really good. If you want to go up to the Peak Elite model, where you're getting that Fox 36 Grip 2. So you're getting that top of the line suspension there. So Performance Elite. No Kashima there, but you're getting the Grip 2 damp, which is the main thing, and then DPX2 in the rear, and that's XT 1x11 there. So comparing that to, say, something like a Canyon, when you're getting a Grip 2, you're kind of looking, it's I believe the CF8, you'd be looking around that, and I think that one's around about 5K. So yeah, you're saving a bit of money there, 4,599. So really impressive spec. So in terms of value, straight up, amazing value on those bikes. But we'll dig into the geometry a little bit. So Fezzari have done a really good with the geo of this bike. You can look in the full spec and all that kind of stuff. So other than that, brakes, what are you getting? M6100 4 pistons. So yeah, let's really, really good. Really good. So geometry is bang on where you want as well. So really steep seat angle. So on that size, well, just looking at the size large, 77.5, 65-degree head angle, 1234 wheelbase. So right where you want it for kind of that more trail or mountain style bike, and then reaches 480. So right where you want it to. So really, really good spec, good geometry. It's nothing really to complain about on this bike. We'll go onto the Lasalle Peak now. I believe that is what we're looking at. So the Lasalle Peak, a little bit of a funny one in the lineup. Oh, and I forgot one last thing to mention here with the Delano Peak. Room for 2 water bottles, which is amazing. So, I mean, that's as good as it gets in terms of just get a closer look so we can actually see the bike. Wait for my internet to load. So yeah, as you can see, 2 water bottle mounts, one there and one there as well. So yeah, that's really cool. And that's the same on the Lasalle. So if you're doing big days in the saddle, doing this all mountain riding, you really want that room for 2 water bottles. I think that's pretty good to see. So let's go to Lasalle Peak. So the Lasalle Peak came out before the Delano Peak. So this is their more enduro style bike, but when you look at the geometry of the bike, it's very, 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 very close to that, to the Delano Peak. So 65 head angles, the same there, 78 seat angle, wheelbase, pretty much the same, reach 470. The other one's got 480. So yeah, it's not necessarily too different there. You can choose your wheel size, so 29, 27.5 plus. But we'll take a look at the bikes. Where is the lineup? Where can we watch the bike? Can we look at There, here we go. So yeah, you are getting a little bit of extra travel, but the geometry is not too different. So we take that into consideration when you're picking between the bikes. This will be a bit more forgiveness, but the way it rides, it's kind of more, the geometry is the same. So it's not really that you're getting, you'll get, it obviously will perform a little bit better on the really chunky stuff, a bit more forgiveness on those bigger drops, but it's not like it's a big brawler of a frame or anything like that. So I don't know how much performance benefits you'd get on the descent from getting this bike, other than it will just be a bit more forgiving, especially over that chunky stuff. Yeah, it'll be a bit better, but if you're doing bigger landings and stuff like that, there's probably some more burly frames out there that probably would do that riding a bit better. Whereas from what I've heard about this bike, it rides more like kind of like an all mountain bike, which is pretty much what the Delano Peak is. So that's something you take into consideration when you're picking towards the bikes. But if you do want that little bit more forgiveness, kind of where they're riding, it's kind of, so Colorado and that kind of stuff like that, you get those big all mountain days where there's some rough stuff. So it makes a lot more sense having a more efficient style enduro bike that does have that little bit more forgiveness from the extra travel. So that's something to take into consideration. So if you do want that extra forgiveness, the Lasalle Peak might be the one for you. But the suspension, the price, and all that stuff that you're getting, specs really good. So still getting the DVO there, but you're getting the Onyx, so a bit more extra travel, a bit burlier. And then you're getting NX Eagle on the drivetrain, so not as good, but still the price, $36.99. Definitely really good value there. And then the $46.99, you're getting the Lyric and Super Deluxe there. So the RC3 and Flow Mark 3 wheels, which are really, really good wheels too. So yeah, that would be, and the color's sick too, like that copper. I really like that. So yeah, that's something, if you're picking between the two bikes, that's something that you need to consider which one you kind of go for. But the value that you're getting is really, really good. And so we'll give that one value. I think amazing to good value on that one, just for the fact that it is kind of like the bikes are so close, and I probably prefer the Delano Peak versus the LaSalle Peak. But yeah, it's not like it's a ridiculously slack enduro bike. So I think there needs to be a little bit more of a difference between those two bikes. So let's dig into the next bikes. So they do have some really good. Where can we just look at all the mountain bikes? How about that? There we go. We'll just do that. Okay, perfect. All right. So now we'll look at some of the more cheaper dual suspension bikes. So some of their alloy options. We'll look at the Cascade Peak. So this one's $2,999. So that's kind of at a price point a little bit more than that Siskiyou T kind of money. So T8 at the moment, I think, is 2,699 from, say, 2,499. So yeah, you're spending a little bit extra, but what are you getting in return for that? So you're getting GX Eagle, so similar performance there. DVO suspension, which is nice. You're getting like DPS, so same rear shock pretty much there. G2 brakes, you're getting a little bit better brakes on this one here. But other than that, stands Flow S1 wheels, so probably a little bit on the wheel front there as well. But we'll take a look at the geometry of the bike. So you're getting 130 in the rear, 140 up front. Geometry 67 head angle, 65.5 degree seat angle, so not too bad there. And then reach 463, so not necessarily anything crazy there. So it's decent value, decent geometry, probably not as good as that Siskiyou T, looking at it on paper, but it's a pretty cool bike nonetheless. So we're going to give that one probably good value. There's a few small improvements that they could probably make to get it up to competing with that T8 kind of value if you're looking at an alloy trail bike. So that's that one. We'll look at the Abjo. So this one's 2,199. I believe on a lot of these bikes you can add a dropper post. So with Fezzari, you can customize a few things, and they do really good sizing as well. So you let them know your dimensions and stuff like that, and they change a few things with like the stem and whatnot, so it suits your body. And you can make a few preferences here and there. So it's not too bad, but you can upgrade a few things on it as well. But for under $2,000, no dropper post, but you can, as I said, add a dropper post in the cart. So geometry, pretty much the same. believe it might probably just be the same frame. Wouldn't surprise me. But yeah, not too bad at that price point. With a drop bar, probably adds around. I do like the X Fusion McQueen. I think that's a good fork. But yeah, not too bad there. If you add that dropper post for around maybe $150, $200, don't know exactly off the top of my head. Not too bad. It would be nice seeing a slightly better rear shock on there, but all in all, not a bad bike for the price there. So again, kind of in that good value range there. And then last one, Wiki Peak, which looks to be the entry level in this kind of lineup of dual suspension bikes. So it looks like you can run 29 or 27.5 plus in 2.8 width. It's got their it's got their horse linkage there. Dig into the geometry again. So pretty much, yeah. So it's the same again. So classic kind of entry level bike there again. Add dropper post at the when you check out and stuff like that. But yeah, not too bad there. Recon Plus tires. So yeah, it'd be a good little bike there too. Again, probably not the best fork on there, but if you wanted to upgrade, you could probably just go to that next model in the lineup and get that X Fusion McQueen there. But not a bad bike all around if you're looking for a good do-it-all trail bike. So we'll go back and have a look at some hardtails now. So we'll look at, so it looks like they got some good kids options as well, which is cool to see. Always good to see that. Kids need some good bikes too. The Solitude looks to be their carbon race bike. So we'll take a quick look at that. So take a quick look at the geometry and then we'll go back up. So geometry 68, 74.5. So good kind of XC standard there. 460 reach, so not too bad in that front as well. So good XC geometry there. And then the builds. Let's have a look at the build options. So the comp model, 2,499, which is pretty good for a carbon bike. When we're comparing to that Trek the other night, I think the Trek was around 1,000 more for the entry level carbon hardtail. So yeah, not too bad on the pretty good price for the money. If you go up, so 120 mil travel on that one, so a little bit more forgiving. Then the next one up, 3,499. You're getting Stance arch wheels, so good XC wheels there. Fox 34 step cast performance elite, so that's probably the one to go for if you're looking for really good value XC race bike. And I'd say looks like it's got internal dropper post routing as well, so that's probably the pick of the bunch, and that one's really good value. So yeah, that's a great value XC race hardtail if you're looking for one. Definitely up there. So I'll give that one kind of amazing value if you're looking for an XC race bike. So we'll look at I think that's the main ones. We'll look at this. So the last hardtail is the Wasatch Peak. And they're calling it an enthusiast XC hardtail. So for someone kind of starting to really take up mountain biking. So it looks like you got a through axle there in the dropout. Internal dropper post routing by the looks of it as well. 68-degree head angle, 75 seat angle. So it looks like might have copied the geometry in the carbon one for this. You can run 29, 27.5 plus. Good to see. Yeah, so the geometry looks like it's the same from that carbon one to this one. So yeah, not bad there. Let's have a look at the builds that you can get. So $999 is pretty good. Getting tapered head tube as well. We'll jump into this one by drivetrain. You might be able to add a dropper post as well. Yeah, you can add a dropper post. So $200 for a dropper post. So that's good to notice. You can get some decent composite pedals there. So you can see the checkout process here. Tubeless. Put in your dimensions and they'll sort stuff out for you. You can pick your riding position too, aggressive, neutral, relaxed. So that's not bad build for the money there. If you're looking for more of a XC hardtail or kind of bridging on that XC trail kind of side of things, that's not bad. You're getting an air fork. Yeah, that's really good. getting into it, yeah, if you're looking at getting into mountain biking with a proper bike, that's probably one of the cheapest bikes that you can get with through axles. Really impressive. So I'm going to have to give that one amazing to good value as well. For it could be a little bit on the slacker side, so close towards that 67 for a trail kind of hardtail. But I know for a lot of people, this is not that, well, they just want a good XC bike. So it's, yeah, I think that's a really good bike. If you're looking at getting into mountain biking for a hardtail with through axles that you can upgrade as you progress a bit, I think that's going to be a good option. I always miss Fezzari when I'm going through my buyer's guides for some reason. Sometimes I just miss them, but they make some really, really good bikes. So we look at the Wire Peak, which is their e-bike quickly. It is one of the better value e-bikes on the market. If you have a look, 3899. I mean, what other e-bikes, proper dual suspension e-bikes are at that price point? It's pretty damn good. So 140 rear, 150 front. Again, RockShox Recon, not the best one. I'd probably go to the next model up. So that's 4899, but still very, very affordable. EP8, 504 watt hours. So it's not the biggest, but it should be decently. It's a decently light bike as well. So for an e-bike, if you want something a bit lighter, full power, so 250 watt, I think it's a good option. So yeah, really, really good value for money on that one there. And then the geometry of it's really good too. So 66 head angle, 76 seat angle, so really good. Reach 457, so not the most roomy bike. You might need to size up, but you can seat tube on that extra large 460, 479 reach. So for a lot of people, that might be, if you're looking for a large size bike that you'll be pushing on the trails a bit more and want a bit more room, I think that's probably going to be, if you're kind of around about 6 foot, I'd probably go up to that extra large. That's 27 point plus, and then if you go 29, slightly slacker as well. So yeah, really good bike. Again, gonna have to give that one amazing value. So if you're looking for some great value bikes and you live in the US, I'd definitely check out Fezzari. And again, you can do that trial too with them. So yeah, they make some great bikes. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a comment. If you got any questions about Fezzari as well, leave a comment. They will feature in some of the buyer's guides this year as well. Definitely that hardtail, that entry-level hardtail around 999, that just fits the kind of like bracket. I'm kind of usually 500 to 1,000, so I'm definitely going to have to add that in for a through axle bike. That's really impressive at that price point. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. See ya.